Welcome to the Nevis newscast for Friday, January 20th, 2023. I am Bronte Swanston Hendrickson. On Tuesday, January 17th, Minister of Education, the Honorable Troy Liburd, met with a contingent from the Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, and the Technical and Vocational Education and Training, TVET, personnel at his office. Neva Pemberton, Consultant Education Specialist and CDB Project Supervisor on Nevis, outlined the purpose of the visit.
We have the Technical Vocational Education and Training Project, which has been underway for quite some time, and we are excited to be here this morning to discuss with the Minister and Ministry leadership progress to date on the project, and also to do a walkthrough of the Gingerland Secondary School, the technical block that was put there with project financing, and to discuss a little bit more with Ministry leadership any areas that may be useful for further support with CDB intervention. We are also incredibly excited to be in the Federation because tomorrow we will be launching federally the Enhancing Learning Continuity Project, which is a COVID-19 response to ensure that we have a resilient education system, and that project has numerous components that are going to help our students learn and support the continuity of learning no matter what happens with school disruptions. So there's a focus heavily on ICT infrastructure, ensuring that we have devices and software for all of our students and our teachers in terms of universal coverage. And we're also going to be focusing heavily on ensuring that our teachers have the capacity to work in a distributed teaching and learning environment. And there's also a component on institutional strengthening to ensure that our students with special education needs and those that have fallen farther behind because of the pandemic have the kinds of literacy and numeracy and special education resources to help them do their best as well. And with the heavy focus on technology, we're also going to be ensuring that the right kinds of cybersecurity supports are in place so that the significant investment in the resources that is being made by the government is well protected.
Minister of Education, the Honorable Troy Liburd, delivered brief remarks in the presence of the delegation, including CDB Civil Engineer Valini Nakasar, Chief Executive Officer of TVET Courtney Thompson, TVET Officer Paul Lloyd, and Project Engineer Melba Walters, as well as his Permanent Secretary Kevin Barrett and Principal Education Officer Zanella Claxton.
The general public would have gotten a good sense of what we have been working on in education over the years. As you would have heard, the Continuity in Learning project is a COVID response project. We had to get very focused when COVID came around. Some of the things that we were probably looking at as over-the-horizon projects that we would probably be thinking that we could implement 5-10 years down the road, we had to move those up, and we had to really get moving on some of the things that we wanted to do. So this is something that was born out of 2020 and all that we had going on in 2020. And the focus, the aim is that our students would not be disadvantaged in the event that we have any type of calamity where students are not able to be in schools in person. I think we should be getting some devices in short order, and devices would be in both St. Kitts and in Nevis, devices for our students and also for our teaching fraternity to make sure that they have access to the necessary technology so that at no point, regardless to what happens, learning would stop.
Following the meeting, the delegation toured the Gingerland Secondary School's technical wing. The new session of the Nevis Island Assembly opened on Thursday, January 19th, with the election of a new president, the Honorable Michelle Slack. The role of the president is to decide all questions of procedure, maintain order with impartiality, and to protect the privilege of freedom of speech by ensuring all members are given a fair opportunity to express their views within the legislated rules of the House.
Honorable members of this Assembly, I reiterate my sincerest thankfulness to you for considering me and for my election to the role of President of this House. It is an honor to be able to sit here in these halls with men and women of high esteem and serve my country in a capacity as significant as this. Lawmaking is serious business. Opportunity for the traditional light banter and repartee are understood. They make lengthy sittings more bearable. And provided we are respectful, there should be no issue. With that being said, I anticipate that our future sittings will be done with decency, that our submissions will be substantive submissions and not personal attacks, and that we would maintain a standard of respect for each other and carry out our various roles according to the governing legislation and reflective of our own personal standards.
She noted that all sittings of the Nevis Island Assembly are governed by the standing orders, a set of legislated rules and procedures.
And my role here is to ensure that the rules which govern these proceedings, as set out in the National Assembly Elections Act and the scheduled standing orders, are observed, so that order, respect for each other, and the due seriousness which ought to attend the matters we are dealing with here are maintained. To this end, and consistent with my own values, of which you who nominated and elected me to serve here are aware, and consistent with the provisions of the governing legislation, I am prepared to exercise the powers conferred on the President of this Assembly in every situation that warrants it, equally, impartially, on this side and that side, without fear or favor, affection or ill will. I encourage all members to periodically study the legislation and standing orders, as I will do, and to be mindful of the rules set out therein, the overarching principle being that we conduct ourselves in a fit and proper manner. And within this space, always speaking and behaving in a manner befitting of men and women who are called honorable.
The Honorable Michelle Slack succeeds former President of the Nevis Island Assembly, Farrell Smithen, who served in the role for almost 10 years.
I must reference the Honorable Farrell Smithen, who served in this role for several years, who influenced many youth parliamentarians, including myself, and who has graciously indicated his intention to assist as I acquaint myself with this role, and I say to him, thank you. I would hope to be able to benefit from his years of experience. I intend to advance the Youth Parliament on this island, a cause for which I share his passion, and will collaborate with him to ensure it continues to grow and improve.
President of the Nevis Island Assembly, the Honorable Michelle Slack. The Ministry of Human Resources in the Nevis Island Administration wishes to inform you that the Organization of American States, OAS, has declared the call for 2023 scholarship applications for undergraduate, graduate, academic studies, and graduate research. Please be guided by the following stipulations. Applicants for undergraduate studies should be already enrolled in a program and are eligible to graduate within 2 academic years. Applicants for graduate studies should have already completed 1 year or have an acceptance letter from the university where he or she plans to study. OAS scholarships have a monetary cap of US $10,000 per academic year for a minimum of 1 and no more than 2 academic years. Funds may cover the following following benefits and are assigned on a case-by-case basis: tuition and mandatory fees, health insurance, monthly complimentary subsistence allowance, round-trip air ticket, books or study materials. Undergraduate scholarship applicants can apply online at www.oas.org. Application and supporting documents must be received by the Ministry of Human Resources on or before Monday, 6th March 2023 for onward processing. Phase 2 of the Nevis Pinnis Beach Park project, a collaborative effort between the Nevis Island Administration and the government of the Republic of China, Taiwan, has commenced. That is according to Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, John Hanley, who made the disclosure on Monday, January 16th.
A critical component of our celebrations is the recognition of 40 years of friendship that have existed between the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and the Republic of China, Taiwan. Today, we have yet another opportunity to thank our friends for their kind financial contribution, which made the construction of this park possible. Thanks to Taiwan's continued commitment, we have already commenced work to enhance the area adjacent to the park where the restaurants and beach bars are located. This project, valued at $3.3 million, is expected to be completed over the course of 16 months.
At a ceremony to celebrate the first anniversary of the Malcolm Gishad Recreational Park, Hanley noted that since its first day of operation, almost 40,000 persons have visited the facility, which has also been the venue for a host of private, corporate, and government functions.
The highly accessible location of the park, close to the main tourism hub at Pinnis Beach, the variety of options for use at the park, as well as the attentive and dedicated staff, have all contributed in large measure to the success of the park's first year of operation. A look at the demographics of persons visiting the park reveals that of the 40,000 visitors, 23% were male adults, 37% were female adults, and 40% were children. About a quarter of our visitors came to the park specifically for special events. Given these statistics, we intend to do more in the near future to attract and cater to our children, who make up almost half of the persons visiting the park. We intend to add more amusement rides and attractions, but continue to ask our adults not to use and damage items intended for our children. Given the disparity between male and female visitation, our creative team at the park will craft activities that will further engage our ladies and add new attraction that hopefully will encourage more men to use the park for exercise, general recreation, and other purposes.
The Malcolm Gishad Recreational Park was officially opened on December 19th, 2021. And that's it for this edition of the Nevis Newscast. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, I am Bronte Swanston Hendrickson. Thank you for viewing.